with us. Weapons sales have skyrocketed as the war in Ukraine began in February of 2022. But even before this major industrial boost, the global market has been growing in exponential numbers. Israeli-based Elbit Systems is a unique player in our local market, being the largest private company in Israel. We sat down with a senior executive to hear about their recent deals and a look to the future as global security needs are ever expanding. Rani Krill, EVP International at Elbit Systems, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So it's been a booming year, another booming year for Elbit and for the Israeli industry at all. Can you explain why?
Look, at least from our side, we see it started even before the crisis in Ukraine, but we see an increasing appetite for defense. There are many reasons for that in the last couple of years. It started even during the COVID period, but there are some conflicts still around the world that are energizing the appetite of countries to defend themselves. NATO regulation and demand to be 2% GDP in defense budget, and of course Ukraine conflict. All this has emerged, I would say, in some areas dramatically, the appetite of countries to procure defense in some country after many years that they've gone to sleep, actually. And now they are emerging and understanding that in order to be able to defend their countries, they need modern technologies, training, and lots of solutions in order to be able to survive in the next potential conflict, whatever it will be.
In some markets, Israel was a big no-no in the past, and currently Israel is not a problem but a solution.
Yes, of course, there are countries which are still trying not to buy from Israel, but we see more openness in the world, understanding that politics is aside, but in order to equip your army with the best solution, you better buy the best product in the world, and Israelis technologies and defense solutions are well perceived in the world as an advanced one.
Being a private company, Elbit, helps you in being quicker, more efficient, more adaptable than let's say, other companies which are government-controlled?
I would say that probably there are pros and cons to be a private-public company, but definitely I would say that our flexibility, eagerness, and the quicker decision-taking probably is something which we are doing better than the other. And definitely the decision taken here in Israel and now abroad in our global company are giving us the position to respond quicker to things that we are seeing in the global world.
One thing that it takes, having such a boom in the market, is more people. More educated people, more advanced people, more experienced people, better minds. How do you find them in a small state when you know everybody wants them? The high-tech wants them, you want them, it's a limited resource. How do you tackle that?
I agree, and we and not only us suffered in the last 2 or 3 years from a huge demand of talented here in Israel. I would say that during the last 12 months we see a bit release in that trend. We are looking for people not only in Israel. Of course, Israel is our hub and our heart, but we have thousands of people around the world, and we have a challenge to recruit the best talented, not only in Israel, in UK, in Germany, and in US, and other places. So it's really a challenge, and in order to satisfy the increased backlog that we have, we need to expand our resources, and manpower, and good manpower is definitely one of them.
So your job in marketing is, obviously to assist selling for as long as possible. Let's look at the future. How do you see it? What's in the horizon for Elbit, for that industry?
I think that when we are looking in the future, we definitely see, at least in our eyes, the strategic territories that we will continue to act, of course, is US. US is our biggest market, and we will continue to expand and to grow our position in the US. Europe, of course, is a growing segment in our portfolio. And in the advanced and modern countries, we will definitely see more and more appetite. We are investing a lot in new facilities and new infrastructure in this country to absorb the request for more equipment. Of course, our new neighborhood in the Gulf countries is another area which we are looking and hoping that the international environment will allow us to be more active. And there is a huge market over there. Of course, Abraham Accord allowed us to start working in some of the countries, and we keep our dreams in order to be able to expand it soon.
You spoke of geographical markets. Let's speak about practical markets. What are they interested in mainly?
Nowadays, we see an increased demand, of course, for artillery solutions, precise weapons, precise guided munitions, unmanned solutions from all types, spectrum dominance, what we call an electric warfare, communication, C4I, advanced intelligence solution based on electro-optics and other advanced sensor. The naval domain is a growing market, not only for us. I think that there are lots of budget that will be invested in the naval domain, and we are developing solution for that area. And of course, space, new space, and the other domain which will allow us to open and develop a new domain. Definitely, we see a request over there. Securing and self-protection suit for vehicle, for aircraft. After what we've seen in the Ukraine conflict, there is a demand of protection system for a helicopter, for aircraft, for vehicle, and we are one of the leading in the world in that technology. So from end to end, we see a demand from all aspects of technologies and solutions.
And your intimate connections with the IDF, both Air Force, ground forces, both in actual fight combat systems and technology systems, how much it assists you in when you come to sell your products around the world?
Assist a lot. Most of our customers are looking and trying to understand what the Israeli Air Force, what the Israeli Defense Forces are thinking and looking at. Of course, the Israeli MOD is supporting us as well in that, to connect to that. And we see, and it was increased dramatically since the end of the COVID. Every week, delegations are coming from all around the world, meeting our Israeli Defense Forces representative, and of course, seeing the solution, the technology that is being operated by them, and that definitely help us to.
And how big is the burden between what is exclusive for Israel and what you can offer and sell outside of Israel?
We are, of course, under the Israeli MOD regulation for export, and I think that the Israeli Defense Forces is, like every country, will try to strive to keep the best cutting-edge technologies in Israel. But we see a lot of support from the Israeli MOD, understanding that exporting this capability globally will assist back the investment and the development of the Israeli Defense Forces. And of course, based on the competition that we talked a couple of minutes ago, they understand that in order to allow us to compete with high-end countries and companies, we need to come with the best technology. So it's kind of a balance.
Not mentioning the assistance to the Israeli economy, obviously. One more field that Elbit was kind of pioneers in was the cooperation, the global cooperation, mutual companies in the US, in Europe, et cetera, et cetera. Let's speak a bit about that.
Yes, cooperation is a very important part in our strategy. We are supporting a lot our collaboration around the world with leading companies, trying to understand, again, back to the competition arena, we need to understand, and we're understanding that nowadays, in order to be able to compete and to win the advanced competition, we need to collaborate, and this is definitely our OEM strategy that we are developing here in our organization, and we will see more and more collaboration like that in the future.
And how welcomed are you by foreign governments? Because obviously they want, to keep working places, money for themselves, and within that situation they have to collaborate with foreigners.
Yeah, so that's why as part of our globalization strategy, we are perceived and deemed in our abroad countries as local. So Elbit Systems US, Elbit Systems of America, Elbit Systems UK, Elbit Systems Germany are local companies, and we definitely understand the necessity that the local economy or the government will assist local companies, not just buying from outside. So, of course, we are one of the leading, talking back about flexibility and our ability to open companies around the world. So we have our subsidiary in dozens of countries around the world, and when we are competing on a certain technology or a certain tender, we are perceived as local in the eyes of the government, and this is a big advantage.
Looking at your rivals around the world, other companies, if you could grade their products compared to you?
Our strategy is to be, in what we are doing, in everything that we are doing, to be one of the top 3 technology provider. If we are identified that we are not in that league, probably we are not in the right area. So when we are competing, and we are competing in the Western world, US company, European company, Korean company with advanced technology. So I think that in most of the area, we are able to provide a cutting-edge technology, which definitely compete with the leaders in the world in that areas.
In one word about our enemies, for example, we've seen the Iranian industries booming in the past few years, obviously in Russia, selling to Russia for the war in Ukraine. When you have to evaluate their products, looking as an Israeli that might be attacked by those products, and you have to defend from them, what do you say?
So we definitely see a growing threats coming from these areas. Some of our customers are thinking together with us how to defend themselves from these technologies, and of course, as an enemy to Israel, this is something that is also being developed here. I couldn't say that I understand entirely where technology-wise is going forward in these countries, but I think that we will see these countries developing more and more advanced technologies, and that will require us to be able to defend ourselves better.
Yeah, to be better and always take your enemies seriously.
Of course.